Welcome to another video, the same every time, IGCSE Maths, GCSE Maths, looking at the kind of questions that apart from the numbers are the same every time. We're into differentiation and stationary points in this set of videos. A lot of people maybe think this is a tricky topic, but there's a lot of stuff in this topic that is the same every time. We can learn how to do it. Here's an exam question. Part A, they've got this function, y equals x to the power 4 minus 4x cubed. 2 marks for this. Find the value of y when x equals negative 1. Well, all we have to do is put x equals negative 1 into the function that they give us. So everywhere we see x, we put negative 1 instead. So negative 1 to the power 4 minus 4 times negative 1 to the power 3. Let's have a think about doing this one non-calculator. Of course, in the Cambridge these days, the Cambridge IGCSE, one of the papers is non-calculator, and other IGCSEs and GCSEs might have non-calculator parts as well. I think we can do this non-calculator, can't we? Negative 1 to the power 4. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. Well, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So 1 times 1, there we go, 1. Minus 4 times negative 1 to the power 3. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. Times negative 1 is negative 1. So that's a 1, isn't it? Times by negative 1, so 4 times negative 1. So 1, and that's minus 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So 1 minus negative 4, 1 plus 4. So that gives us 5, doesn't it? Yeah, do that one non-calculator. A little bit confusing with all the negative ones there, but 5 is the answer for that one, isn't it? Let's move on. Part 2 of this one is one of these questions where they don't guide you through the question, they just give you an enormous amount of marks at the end, 6 marks, and they don't seem to be asking you very much. The actual question is actually a very short question there. So, find the 2 stationary points on the graph of, well, here's the function y equals x to the power 4 minus 4x cubed. Well, that's the same function we had in the other part of the question there, isn't it? And when we are finding stationary points, remember stationary points are the places on the graph where dy by dx, the differentiation, is equal to 0. So first of all, we must find dy by dx. So we multiply by the power and take away 1 from the power. So basically, that's a 1, isn't it? So 1 times 4 is 4, and take away 1 from the power, 4x cubed. Negative 4 times the power, negative 12, x to the power 2. Now we have to put the dy by dx equal to 0. Right, now if we have something like this equal to 0, what we absolutely do not do ever in an equation is divide by the thing that we want to find. So we're not going to here divide by x. You might be tempted to divide even by x squared, just to, as people say, simplify it, but we never divide by the thing that we want to find, because that's how we lose solutions. What we do need to do is factorize. So look at the numbers 4 and 12, highest common factor of 4 and 12, 4. Look at the powers, x to the power 3, x to the power 2. It's the smallest power that we take outside. And then 4x squared times what makes 4x cubed? 4x squared times x. And then minus 4 times what makes 12? 4 times 3. And there's already the x squared there, isn't there? So 4x squared times 3, negative 3, is going to give me the negative 12x squared. Right, so we are almost there with solving this one. Either, because we have 2 things multiplied together, either 4 times x squared equals 0, or x minus 3 equals 0? Well, if x minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3. And if 4 times x squared equals 0, that means that x squared itself must equal 0, and the only number when I square it that makes 0 is 0. So our two x values are 0 and 3. Now, they don't actually say the word coordinates in the actual question, do they? But in the answer section there, it's kind of obvious from the way they're writing the answer that they do want coordinates. So we are also going to need to find y coordinates. And if you remember from the previous video, to find the y coordinates, what we have to do is go back to the original equation, which is x to the power 4 minus 4x cubed, and put the x values into that equation. So at x equals 0, y is going to be 0 to the power 4 minus 4 times 0 cubed. Well, 0 to the power 4 is 0, and 0 cubed is also 0. So all of that actually is going to be 0, isn't it? So when x is 0, y is 0. And then at x equals 3, we are going to get y equals 3 to the power 4 minus 4 times 3 cubed. Well, the numbers are getting a bit big there. I did say at the beginning I'll try to do this one non-calculator. So let's give it a go. 3 to the power 4 is going to be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 times 9, 3 to the power 4 is 81, minus 4 times 3 to the power 3, 3 times 3, 9, times 3 again, 27. Okay, so we've got 81 minus 4 times 27. I'm trying to do this whole thing non-calculator. So 4 times 27, I'll do this one here, look, 27 times 4, 4 times 7, 28. 4 times 2, 8, plus the 2 gives me 10. So that's going to give me 81 minus 108. So 81 minus 108. So let's see, if I start at 81, and what do I need to add to get myself to 100? If I add 19, I get to 100, don't I? And then add another 8, and I get to 108. So the difference between 81 and 108 is going to be 19 plus 8, which is 27. And 108 is bigger than 81, so I'm going to get a negative number here. 81 take away 108, negative 27. Well, some of those numbers do become a little bit awkward, don't they? And I can imagine if you're doing this non-calculator on an actual exam, then the numbers will perhaps, if you're not very careful with the numbers, I mean to say, then you may well go wrong with those numbers. But the actual maths, 6 marks for that one. 2 stationary points. First thing you have to do, dy by dx, differentiate, and then put your dy by dx equals to 0, and then solve to find x. Remember, in that kind of situation that we had, you do not divide by the thing you want to find, you must factorize. If you have any equation equals 0, probably factorizing is going to be your best move, and that will give you your 2x solutions. And even though the question does not say the word coordinates, the way that the answer is written implies that you need to find coordinates. So put the x values back into the original equation to find the y coordinates. I do hope that the video was useful to you. And if it was, then why not think about liking and subscribing, and I will see you next time in the next video.